We learned of the passing of Dave Parker today. I know how much he meant to not just the sport of baseball, but to Pittsburgh Pirates, and I'm sure to you personally. Can you just elaborate maybe on how you felt hearing that news tonight?
Yeah, I mean, that's the Cobra, right? I mean, he, for the time that he was here with the Pirates, he did some amazing things on the field. A part of being a world champion here, and crazy numbers. Back-to-back years where he won the batting title, and I think people don't. It's crazy. It's a crazy game we play because he was a very big guy. So I remember one of the first times meeting him. You always have this thought of what they are, or who they look like. Or what they look like. I've never seen him in person. Only seen video, and but a guy that big, and to be the hitter that he wasn't necessarily like Willie Stargell, but he was a hybrid of it. He was a guy who could do a little more than just hit. He could hit. He could hit for power, and he played a great outfield as well. So it's a tough thing to hear, but he had been battling Parkinson's for quite some time, which we ended up finding out about that quite some time ago, it was rough to see him kind of go through that, I just hope now he's in a better place and not having to worry about any of that stuff anymore. So I was just thinking about his family and the fan base who may have had any type of interaction with him, childhoods, and he was probably Superman to a lot of people when he played. So so it's a tough thing, but try to focus on the good, the positive, the things that he did while he was here, and happy I had the chance and opportunity to get to meet him.
I feel like you guys represented him pretty well today.
I hope so. I hope so. It's a good win for us. So, it's always tough to hear, news like that. So, it was good to be able to go out and win in the fashion that we did.
Touched on a little bit. What was your personal relationship with Dave?
I never really knew Dave on a real personal level. But there were definitely a handful of times to where I've met him, and when they have something going on here at the stadium. I've had a signing where I was sitting right next to him, and we both just sat next to each other and just talked for an hour or two. So that was the one time where we were right there across the street. So that was the one time I got to know him quite a bit, and just learn a little bit about him, his personal life, and he was a cool guy. He was a real big guy, cool guy, and you knew when he was in the building. So so it was he's a big guy, and just all around. It's just that's who he was, and that was his personality, and joking with the guys around him, and picking, making fun of people. That's just him. So it was. I got to know him a little bit just in those instances, but outside of that, I never really got past that.
Someone probably would have been Hearts Fest then, one year.
I would maybe. I don't know if I'm sure there was, because they would always have guys come in too and sign back when they used to do it the way they did back in the day. So, this was a different time when I was with him. It was actually a private signing, so I got to know him a little more on a personal level that time.
Thanks, Coach.